Tacoma, Washington, winter 1936. Long before the war, before the neon signs lit up the skyline, there was a house that stood just east of the grand old church on Tacoma Avenue. The church, majestic, draped in lights during Christmas time, was the pride of the town. But to reach the church, you had to pass that house. It wasn't abandoned, not exactly. It was kept, tidy in a strange and somber way. Wrapped in wrought iron fencing and swallowed by thick, overgrown trees, the house looked less like a ruin and more like a mansion mourning something. Elegant, yes, but lifeless. And always cold, even in the warmth of summer. In 1937, the last of its original residents, a wealthy, reclusive old woman, died quietly in her sleep. But her death wasn't the end of the story. It was only the beginning. Sam, a boy from the neighborhood, remembered the tales well. Everyone knew Uncle Wheel, the kind old carriage man who rode his horse-drawn buggy through Tacoma like clockwork. One frosty morning, Uncle Wheel trotted his empty carriage past the house, heading toward Market Street in hopes of finding riders. Just as he neared the iron gate, he saw her. A woman, thin, pale, and standing still as stone at the gate. She raised her hand and called out, "Are you going to the market? May I ride with you?" He nodded. She climbed aboard. At first she was pleasant, chatty even, but as they rode, her voice grew quieter, then silence. He turned to check on her and froze. Her face had grown, wide, round, unnatural. Her skin dripped crimson like rain-soaked velvet. Her eyes blazed like torches in the dark. She let out a slow, guttural laugh and vanished. Uncle Wheel dropped the reins and fell off his seat. When he finally came to, he stumbled into the market, telling anyone who would listen. A week later, another story crept into the neighborhood. A young man selling sandwiches by bicycle passed the same gate at dawn. There she was again. "2 sandwiches, please," she said politely. "I'll pay you later. Ask my son when the sun comes up." She walked calmly back into the shadow of the trees, sandwiches in hand. Later that morning, the young man came to collect. He knocked on the door. A man answered, tired-eyed, young. The sandwich seller explained the transaction. "You must have the wrong house," the man said. "I live here alone." But the renter was annoyed and eventually paid just to end the conversation. But as the door creaked shut, he hesitated. He wandered to the back porch and froze. There, sitting on the step, were 2 uneaten sandwiches. And then came the seafood seller and his wife. They had arrived early to Market Street to catch the freshest shipment. Cold and tired, they rested in their wagon for a few minutes. Then came the whisper, a gentle tap on the arm. "Miss, I need 4 pounds of shrimp." The woman blinked. An older lady stood beside the wagon. Too tired to question anything, the seafood seller packaged the shrimp. The old woman smiled and pointed to a distant house. "My son lives there. He's the security manager at this market. He'll pay you in the morning." At sunrise, the woman walked to the house, knocked, and met the same young renter. She explained. His expression didn't change. "I'm the security manager," he said. "But that woman wasn't my mother. She was the owner before me, and she's been dead nearly a decade." Just then, the front door opened a little wider. Inside, on the wall, was a photograph. "That's her," the seafood seller said, heart skipping. "That's who bought my shrimp." The renter looked at the photo grimly. "She's not alive." The woman left the payment behind and fled. She never returned to that neighborhood again. Years passed, storms came. One night, thunder struck the house. Fire followed. Part of the roof collapsed. Eventually, the city demolished what was left. Now, new homes stand where the old house once lingered. No one talks about the house on Tacoma Avenue anymore. But some nights, when the wind is right, children walking to Christmas service still whisper of a pale woman at a gate and wonder if she's looking for her next ride. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.